Welcome onto our bus. Hey, my name's Tim Charles. I'm from Obliviscaris, and I'm here with
Toby from The Omnific, and we're on tour together throughout North America.
Yeah, we're here in Chicago at the Bottom Lounge, and thought we would show you our tour bus. We've been on tour since October 5 through the US and Canada. We've got, I think this is 6th last show. We've had about 24, 25 already. It's been absolutely amazing. But one of the interesting things is that despite being on the road for over a month, we've actually only been on this bus for a few days. Do you want to maybe mention a couple of the reasons maybe why we changed buses?
I mean, that old bus gave us a lot of grief, and touring's supposed to be really exhausting, but not quite as exhausting as that bus made it. Just with, I mean, I can list them out about some fumes coming on the bus. Me having to sleep out here on the front couch because of that for I don't know how many days, 20 days, just to escape the fumes. 20 days maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, so just to explain what Toby's talking about is basically, so there's a lot of things on this bus that we had. This is an old bus, hadn't been maintained very well. And there was a lot of things that were broken, not working, like sometimes the front door lock wouldn't work, or the bay door stopped kind of staying up when you open it. A lot of things like that, or the fact that when you used the sink, the water all ran into the cupboard, and so you couldn't use the sink. And then eventually the water pump died, so there was no running water. But all of those things, and there's actually a bunch more, were kind of little things, because things do sometimes break on tour buses, and it's not the end of the world. But the big issue that we had was in the back there was three new bunks. It was actually a 15 bunk bus, an old MCI one, and the 3 bunks up the back were pretty new, and it didn't seem like they'd been totally finished. And the problem was that what we worked out by about day 2 of the tour was that when the bus was running, when the engine was running, some exhaust fumes were actually getting into the back lounge, which obviously is incredibly unsafe. And so what we started to have happening was people like Toby, whose bunk happened to be right in kind of the worst spot, just sleeping, coming into front couch and front lounge and sleeping on couches and things like that. And we kind of had a few people rotating through. Toby was doing that the most of anyone, toughing it out.
Yeah.
And we did have about 3 attempts of people coming down to try to fix it. There was one fix. The third attempt actually seemed to mostly fix the leak that was coming through. They found a leak finally on that third attempt after a couple of fail attempts. It's not that easy to fix something major on the road if it maybe takes a long time. But what we realized is that the leak was smaller, but on long drives the exhaust fumes were still getting through, and pretty much some of us started to get actually a bit sick. And so we had a contract and we had prepaid, and we basically were kicking up a huge stink to just get off the bus and change to a different company and get on there. And so yeah, it's been fun.
It's been a time. Yeah, it's been a time. Now we're on a nice cushy bus where we can actually sleep and breathe, which is great. Well, over here we have our entertainment station, and so far that has only been used for Family Guy, because we've only been in this bus for a few days. And
I think maybe one of our crew was using it for Switch as well.
Yeah, on the previous bus, or maybe it's not set up on this yet, but that's always a Switch station for some bowling down the bus, obviously, especially when it's moving. That's great. Yeah, and then we can move on to the table, and right here we have a wok, which is apparently not a usual item for a tour bus, because I believe it did trip the power, so now it's just a bit stinky and not being used and sitting in that very special spot there.
Although, to be fair to the wok, I think you can use it as long as you don't use anything else in the kitchen at the same time. But I know it definitely, when we had I think we had the microwave on at the same time, and everything went off on the bus the other day. But yeah, we often have, we bring on our own wok. We have a coffee machine over here, a kettle. So there's a few little things like that we often buy for the bus to make sure. We have entertainment system here, which we can connect via Bluetooth to our phones so that we can play music. And there's some speakers through here, a microwave. We have a clock here which has the wrong time on it. It's because daylight savings changed recently and it hasn't been updated. And very important, right here we have our day sheet. And I say very important because this has like our schedule for the whole day, but to be honest, I don't know about Toby, but I don't actually look at this.
No.
Because what we use an app called Master Tour on our phones, where basically, you know, I click on this and it has like the same information through there about like where we are and what we're doing. But in case you don't have your phone in your back pocket, or you just want to be able to look at it without doing anything, then that's there as well, which is helpful. And I know that some people do look at it, even if...
Right here, we have the station of work or eating. I mean, or both at the same time. I mean, this is like one of the 2 tables in the bus, there's one in the back lounge, and you know, if you're working, you can just claim that spot and say, hey, can you move? I need to do my job. Which only a few of us do that.
Yeah, and we do at the moment, like on and off in the tour, we've had a great videographer, Alina Glacier, touring with us, and so sometimes straight after the show, she'll take a bunch of photos and footage and stuff from the show, and often within 5 minutes of us finishing our set, she'll be here, editing everything, and the turnaround she does is amazing. So often, like by 24 hours later, we've got like 100 photos from the show and video and stuff like that to share for social media and for our Patreon and things like that.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then we have a switch over there as well, which I think there's a couple of those on the bus, which sometimes we're able to get hooked up to that or just for portable. And then up here we have cupboards, which this is mostly like yeah, peanut butter. Some of this is peanut butter. Leftover food rider. So the venues will sometimes supply us with food and stuff at the show. You can see here, this just has someone's name on it, which is Martino. And so what that means is that if I steal one of these, I'll get in trouble. And so I'll just put them back. And the same over here, we have some cups and you know, there's some plates around and other things like that. I think there's actually a couple drawers under here.
We got some new in-ears for James.
Yeah, they're James's.
He's broke. Got some protein, of course, which I assume this is James's drawer.
That looks like a James drawer.
James drawer.
That's how talking about James Dorton, who's doing vocals for Obliviscaris on this tour. And then we've got
oh, the thongs.
Well, we call them thongs.
Yeah. Flip-flops.
We call them thongs, but it's a common joke because we call them thongs and Americans get very confused.
Mm-hmm.
But what you call a thong, we call a G-string, and what we call a thong, you call flip-flops. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Some Australianisms for you.
Which happens a lot on this tour, and many arguments are made from that.
Yes. Yeah, we have a bit of fridge space here. Oof. And it's pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 15 people on the bus, and there's not a lot of room, but we don't need too much because I guess most of the time there's some food around, you know, locally. So it's more just for those like longer trips or when you wake up first thing in the morning. And
Tino from Neo has a bunch of vegetarian stuff. I'm vegetarian too, so sometimes I have a little bit. But we got the no cow milk that I love to steal. He generously lends me that, and a bunch of plant-based delis, and obviously protein. Protein is essential for quite a few of us on this bus because we go to the gym, and you can't function without that protein.
Yeah, the big rule on the bus is basically if it's leftover rider, which means that the promoter provided for us and it's already been paid for, and it's communal food, so it means that if it's in here, anyone can have it. But if it's got someone's name on it and you take it, you'll get in trouble. Especially if it's one of Tino's things here. He's got in here these yogurt. They look like yogurt cups or something like that, but they're you know, like protein cups with lactose free. They're lactose free ones, and so those are the ones that you got to make sure you don't eat because you won't be able to eat the other ones.
Yeah. Down in this cupboard, we have some other stuff. And as we touched on before, we have peanut butter. And please do not touch my peanut butter, my Jif. This is very yummy. We don't get that in Australia, or if we do, I've never had it before, but I need to go through all that before the end of the tour. And we got more protein and more bread and peanut butter down here. Again, the essentials.
Yeah. We have drinks in through here. Sometimes we've got ice in here. Often there's a lot of water in here. We've kind of run out at the moment. We'll have some probably at the end of the show. But we also have, this is actually our trash bin, or in Australia we would call it a rubbish bin. And it's kind of interesting. I haven't had a bus like this before, but it's just kind of a chute that goes down, and when it fills up, the bus driver empties it out.
Through here we have 2 bunks here on the left, which we've got Lena and Jerome, our drummer Jerome, and Lena the photographer, videographer, which are in this little isolated little spot here, a door here and a door back there. They've probably got the best ventilation in the whole bus, because we had an issue of it getting too hot in the first 2 nights, but now it's just right. And in here we have the bathroom where you are not allowed to poop, but you're allowed to pee. And I mean, it's pretty good. It hasn't smelt yet, and usually they start smelling really bad after a few weeks. So we're on this for like 10 days. So I think hopefully we're going to be okay and not be throwing up. Or they might be throwing up from the smell, but it functions, and that's very exciting.
And so into this next section, so we have the two bunks here, but we have another 12 through this door. I'll show you now. And you can see through here we have, lower, middle, top. With 2 on each side, so we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, and this is where most of us sleep. So this is like the master bedroom, which is pretty cool. There's aircon up here, which Toby mentioned. Like when we first moved to this bus, it took a little bit to get the temperatures right. It was pretty hot initially, but once we worked out the settings and everything from the driver and from our end, it's been really nice. And the bus is working out really, really well.
And there's also ventilation inside the bunks as well. Back here, you can see there's a little vent, so we can turn that on and off. Again, that was turning into a heater and an aircon periodically in the first few days. And I believe this is Gabe's bunk, and some people like to customize their bunks with, I don't know where he got that from, but I mean, he's a lighting guy, it makes sense. Of course,
yes,
he's got to do that.
the lighting guy has his cute little extra lights. I think that makes sense, yeah. And then here we got someone's bunk. These are like odor eaters. So I think that's nice and respectful. If someone realizes maybe that their shit smells, deal with it. And make sure it doesn't spread through the bus. And then here we are in the back lounge. And so this is a really cool extra space on our old bus. It was like a 15 bunk, and the back lounge was kind of 3 bunks and kind of like a half lounge. But because of those fumes that we mentioned, it was a really bad place to hang out, so really no one actually hung out there. So this has been this great bonus. The only catch with this bus is that it sleeps 14, and there are 15 of us. And so what we pretty much worked out was right here, you can see a pillow and doona, or at least that's what we call it in Australia. So I'm told that in the US you call that a comforter. We call it a doona in Australia. Anyways, but this is actually my bed. This is my bed here. So I've been sleeping here, and it's actually fine. There's aircon in here, which is turned off at the moment. The only problem was that 11 o'clock this morning I got a bang on the door because Martina wanted to get in, and somehow the door got locked. And I don't remember locking it.
Somehow Martina is coming up a lot in this.
Yeah, he is.
He'll love that.
But we have another TV in here. Mm-hmm. This is my laptop here because this is where I've been working a lot. As soon as we got this bus, I've been sitting back here working. So this has been kind of like a little office space for me. I do manage Obliviscaris as well, so I'm kind of often busy. I got a few hours of work to do on the business side of things pretty much every day in amongst the shows. And then sometimes I've got Mello, our tour manager, or Lena, or Matt from The Omnific was sitting back here as well. So this is kind of a good kind of quieter workspace. Once people are asleep in here, you can kind of hear people talking in the bunk area. So this is more the quieter area late at night, often people working, and then eventually, I guess when I'm asleep, but often I'm one of the last ones to go to bed, which is why I'm the one back here. And then the front lounge is a bit more the party lounge. If someone's up having a few drinks or whatever, which actually was the case, there were people awake in the front lounge till about 7:30 this morning on the night off.
Classic, yeah, of course.
Although I'm very responsible being the singer, so I went to bed about 5. Yeah, but this is pretty much it. One thing to note through here is that one really big essential thing for me on any bus is I have to work out where to put my violin, because my violin can't live in the trailer and it doesn't really fit on the bunks or anything like that, so I have to find somewhere secure. And so in this cupboard through here, this is where my violin's been living. It's not there at the moment because it's currently backstage, nicely placed, ready for the show here in Chicago. So we have a few little cupboards through here. some extra things. There is an Xbox 360 there, which we haven't got around to using yet, but we have another stereo with some speakers through here, which we can connect through via Bluetooth, PowerPoints, cup holders. There's a basketball because a few of us like to play basketball, and myself and Matt from The Omnific have been playing some games the last 2 days here in Chicago. He unfortunately beat me in a 3-point contest yesterday. I'm happy to report that I did beat him today in 1-on-1 though, so we're 1-all in that contest.
We've got the phone back there, which is actually kind of cool. You can call that into any of the bunks. There's speakers into there. We tested that out as soon as we got here.
I didn't know that.
You can call the front lounge and the bunks, so I'm sure there's going to be a prank at some point.
Can you call a specific bunk?
I don't think so. I reckon it's all the bunks.
You can just call all the bunks?
I reckon you can.
So it can be like, get the fuck out of bed. Is that
yeah.
Can we do that?
I mean, we're going to have to. We're going to have to try at least. And also back here, we also have a few little more cupboards of storage up here. And again, we got Tino, the man, with his stuff everywhere, but very organized everywhere. We got that, whatever that is. Sorry, Tino. There's nothing embarrassing there. We got Matt from Neo in there, some stuff. I mean, I don't think these are very full. You got mine back here, which consists of my penguin costume, which I'm going to try and take back home to Australia because I just know when I'm back in Australia, back at home, there's going to be some nights that are going to be penguin nights. Or some afternoons.
Toby, you might need to explain to the people what the hell you're talking about.
Well,
why do you have a penguin costume?
Right. So, how many days ago was Halloween?
About a week ago.
About a week ago we had a Halloween show and we all got costumes. That's why we still have nail polish on. Half the crew has nail polish because we all got dressed up for Halloween. I mean, I was doing it before, but that's another story. But yes, I was a penguin, and I just really want to take that home so I can, what do you call it? I just want to be a penguin at home.
He's very cute and lovable, this guy. And so basically on this bus we have Obliviscaris and Omnific. We've been touring together. I'd say we're both bands from Melbourne, Australia. But to be honest, Obliviscaris is very international now. There's actually only 2 of us from Australia on this tour. But on this bus, I mean, what countries do we have on this bus? We've got a couple of people from France, one from Portugal, Martino is from Italy. You 3 guys are Australian. Matt and I from Obliviscaris are Australian as well. And
the crew from America.
Yeah, and then we have a bunch of crew members from the US. And so that's a decent amount of countries. And our videographer is Russian as well.
That's it.
And so it's definitely a lot of different languages and cultures mixing together, but it's been such a great vibe and having a really, really fun time. And all the shows have been amazing, so it's been a really cool tour.
They have been so far. So thanks for checking out our bus. We love it dearly, especially compared to that old bus.
It doesn't poison us.
It doesn't poison us. It gives us a big hug when we go to sleep and we can wake up comfy. I've been Toby from The Omnific, and this is our first American and Canadian tour. So it's been wild playing these shows, and only 6 shows left. But if people keep coming, then we're going to keep coming back in the future. Is the plan. You can use the internet to search up The Omnific, or 2 bass players and a drummer. That's our thing. Instrumental kind of music, and yeah, just search that up. We currently don't have anything booked because our new album will be coming out next year, and then once that all gets announced very soon, then things will be unfolding there. But wherever we are, we'd love to see you there. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and those sort of things.
So you should check out The Omnific. They're an unbelievable band. Like you said, 2 bass players and a drummer. It's been such a thrill having them on this tour. Opening up for us, it has been really amazing. We actually had these guys opening for us on our European tour, and we had such a good time. That's why we're doing it again. You can also check out our stuff if you want. We just put out a new album, Exul, in March, earlier this year. It is available anywhere that you stream things online. We have a website, obliviscaris.com.au, which has all our tour dates on it, so you can check out wherever you are in the world to see if we're coming to you sometime soon. It also has our links to our online merch stores for, once again, wherever you are, and you can find the best option for you. But yeah, thanks for checking out our tour bus, and until next time.